Hi everybody. Welcome to this week's Friday Live class with AskAway Health. I'm Dr. Sylvia, founder of AskAway Health and a GP. I'm also a health educator. I love talking to people about their health, explaining medical jargon, and just breaking down some of these medical facts and issues that pertain to women's health, women's bodies, sexual health, and family medicine. So you're very much welcome. Yeah, there we go. So there's the question that we're going to be tackling in the first 5 minutes of this video. I had unprotected sex today. My ovulation was yesterday. So should I take the morning pill? I believe she means the morning after pill right away. And which one should I go for? And how many days should I take? I know we talk about this all the time on the channel, but this question made me realize, there are people who are not familiar with this and they've heard about it and just want to understand how it works. Perhaps they've not been able to speak to the doctors. They just want to know how it works. So let's go through each of these questions. Should I take the morning after pill right away? Which one should I go for? How many days should I take it? Let's go through it step by step. Okay, so very quickly, the morning after pill or the emergency birth control pill, and they're different types, but it's simply defined as the pill, the go-to pill that a woman can reach for if she's had unprotected sexual intercourse and is not ready for the possible consequences, which are pregnancy. So these pills prevent pregnancy from happening, and there are a few rules and recommendations that guide their use. And it's important that you know them so that it is worth your while taking them. Okay, so I'm going to go straight to answering the question, and I'm going to provide explanations as I do that. Yes, please take the emergency birth control pill or the morning after pill as soon as possible after sex. The only occasion a time limit comes into the question is when you're being advised about how long not to delay it for, because if you delay beyond a particular period, they are less effective and they are unlikely to work. Ideally, before we go into details, you should have a regular method if you're not yet ready to have a baby, whether that's a condom, whether that's using the female diaphragm, whether that is using calendar method and doing the pull-out method, whether that's using a regular pill, injection, implant, coil, whichever. Okay, if you're not ready to have a child, you should consider using a regular method than relying on an emergency method, because the regular methods are much more effective than the emergency methods, and the emergency methods are reserved for only very occasional use, i.e. emergency. That's why they're called emergency. So they're not your regular day after day or month after month, or like things like the implants and the coils that are actually left in for years. They're not that type of method. Okay, so back to the emergency pill. You should take them as soon as possible after unprotected sex. Okay, if you have to use them, the earlier the better, because they are most effective the earlier you take them. But our question mentions ovulation, and I have to say this is on the back of one of my videos when I was talking about the best time to take the pill and just trying to get people to understand how these things actually work. Ovulation is when a mature egg is released from the ovary, and after that happens, the egg will usually survive 12 to 24 hours in your body from that point. The birth control pills, the emergency birth control pills, they're best taken before ovulation because their job is to delay the release of the egg, but to a slight extent they can make the cervical mucus thicker or make the womb lining less friendly to implantation. So the ways that the emergency pill will work is by delaying ovulation, but they can also make the cervical mucus a bit thicker or make the womb lining less friendly to implantation. So please use it as soon as possible after sex, even after ovulation, because I know that I said its primary method is to delay ovulation. In some cases, it could make the mucus thicker, so the sperm can travel easily to meet the egg and fertilize, or make the womb lining a bit thicker so that it's harder if the egg is fertilized, it's harder for it to implant. So those are some of the ways that it could work. So it is worth taking it if you got to that point past ovulation. Okay, ideally they work best after ovulation, but still worth taking after ovulation. And then the next thing she says, which one should I use? The answer to that is any method you can get hold of at the time, please pick it. Okay, well, we can talk about which ones are most effective. So of course, if you've got a variety of methods and you're looking for the best, go for it. And in terms of emergency birth control, the copper coil or the copper IUD, which is why I've got that picture of the copper coil. Let me go back to I think I need to pull myself away from the picture now. And I'll just remove the question just temporarily so you can see the copper coil over there. That is the most effective method if you are looking for, if you've got a range of different options and you're sort of looking at, right, which one is the most effective. So the copper coil, and it can be taken up to 5 days after that episode of unprotected sex, or 5 days after you've ovulated. So whichever of these scenarios you find yourself in, if you find that, okay, I've had sex and I've ovulated, and and you're coming up to which method can I use, you can use the copper coil. In that method, it's the most effective as long as it is still within a 5-day window. Okay, quickly, number 2 is the Ella pill. The Ella birth control pill. It's a human-made progesterone, sort of like emergency birth control method, which is the next best option if you can get it. Studies show that it will still work effectively very early on, even after the hormones that cause ovulation have peaked. They've peaked, but the egg hasn't yet been released. And you also have up to 5 days with this particular method. Now, I do talk about it more on my channel, so please check out the Smart Birth Control playlist. I talk all about Ella and how it's used and its advantages and so on. And then the third method, and I'm sort of putting them in order of effectiveness, since we're talking about which one can we use, but whichever you've got, please use it. So the next one, the third one, is called the Levonorgestrel containing pill. Levonorgestrel is a type of progesterone and is commonly known as Postonor, whether it's Postionor 1 or 2 or Levonelle. Take Action Plan B, whichever. There's so many different ones, methods, or brands, I beg your pardon, brands available. So whichever one, if you check the back of the packet and it mentions Levonorgestrel, this is what I'm talking about. Now, that's also effective when it's used as soon as possible after sex, and this one you have up to 72 hours. Now, that's when it's still effective. The effectiveness reduces from day 1, day 2, day 3. After day 3, we cannot guarantee it's going to do anything, but it is most effective on day 1, less effective day 2, which is why we say please use it as soon as possible. Okay, waiting reduces its chance of working. But unlike Ella, its effect on ovulation delay begins earlier. So it's Ella has the advantage over this Levonorgestrel, Postionor 1 or 2 methods, because Ella would still work after those hormones have peaked. As soon as the hormones peaked, Levonorgestrel is not going to delay ovulation. So Ella has that advantage. The fourth method, which is, it's not so commonly used, but it's also, this method is used in different parts of the world. And I'm referring to the emergency method, which contains a combination of the hormones estrogen and progesterone. So that method is also available. Okay, so we've tackled the second question. Let me just go back and put it up on the screen. We're talking about unprotected sex. A lady popped in this question to the channel. She said she ovulated the day before. Should she take the morning after pills right away? And we've said yes, yes, yes. Take it right away as soon as possible. And then she says, which one should I go for? We've just finished talking about the ones that are available, and go for the one that you have to hand. If you have options, then go for the copper coil, followed by Ella, followed by Levonorgestrel. And then if you have the combination ones in your part of the world, you can use those as well. Now, the next question she is referring to here is, how many days should I take it? So for questions about how to take the pill, how many days and so on, please follow the dosing instruction on the packet. It tells you how to use it, tells you what to expect, any side effects and so on. So please read it. But for the sake of this question, generally, these are single-use pills. The Postonor 1 is just 1 pill. Take Action, just 1 pill. Plan B, take just one pill. There's some like the Postonor 2 where they come as 2 doses, right? And you're required to take the first dose as soon as possible, and then the second dose comes up about 12 hours after taking the first dose. And so it depends on the type that we're talking about. So follow the instructions. Generally, you just take them as a one-off. You don't do a 3-day or 4-day or take them for 1 week kind of thing. And the only exceptions to that, maybe if you're taking the combination ones, which again, I said I'm not talking too much about that. It is used in some parts of the world, but not commonly in places like the UK or in Nigeria. You generally have single-use methods like Postonor 1, Take Action, or Postonor 2, where you have to split the dose and take 1 tablet at so and so time, and then the next one after 12 hours. Okay, so this is what to do. These are the steps if you need to take the pill. I wanted to break this down. The final step, if you need to take the pill, is go and have a look at, I'm just trying to share my screen with you guys. Bear with me 2 seconds. Okay, I think I've got it now, so give me a second. So yeah. So yes, this is the last option. Get rid of this banner. Yeah. Here we go. So this is the last option, friends. This is what I'd love you to do as well. Okay, I want you to come to AskAway Health, okay, and I want you to have a look at the smart birth control playlist. That's what I want you to do, because I've got over 39 videos. I don't think you have any other channel on YouTube that dedicates so many videos, and I'm constantly uploading and updating them. So I'm aiming for over 100. I've got loads and loads of content on birth control, different methods, and from both the emergency methods, your regular methods, issues around using birth control methods. For example, why did the pill fail? What to expect? The pull-out method. Here's the Ella one I just referred to. It's that one here. This is all on this playlist. So just head over to the site, check out this this particular playlist called Smart Birth Control Playlist. It is full of gold. Brilliant. So we are done with that topic. If you have any questions, let me know.